Good morning, Istanbul, and good morning to everyone joining us out there. I still remain your humble host for this talk show, Kenny Royals, broadcasting live from Eagle Studio. I have here with me, Comrade ODESON. Comrade, you're welcome on the show today.
Thank you for having me on the show.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, Comrade, I have some few questions for you today. My first question goes first. Can you tell me about yourself? Tell the house about yourself. Tell us about what you do and where you come from.
All right, thank you, Kenny Rogers. Like you rightly said before, my name is Comr ODESON. By God's grace, I'm a political analyst. I'm from Edo State in one of the local governments of Nigeria. I read political science in education, and I'm also the CEO of ODESON Consulting Limited.
Thank you very much for that. I really love that brief and short information. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Overson. I have that. You're a political activist.
Of course.
Okay, being a political activist, I know there have been a lot of things you've learned in your journey, and during this journey, there have been so much hurdles and challenges. How have you been able to overcome these challenges?
Thank you, Kenny. You know, in life, you are bound to see challenges and you are bound to see success. Plato says something. He said, Amicus Plato, Amicus Aristotle, Magres Veritas. Kenny is my friend. And by God's grace, among all Nigerians in nation is also my friend. But must keep telling people the truth. There have been a lot of challenges while growing up, even as a student and even as a political analyst. It has not been quite easy. One of the most enjoyable politics we've played in our youthful age was that of the university, where you have to contest for student union government, you are governor, you have to contest for student union secretary general. In all of this, you don't have any political partner. You are the core political partner, you are the core political leader. You are at the same time the chairman, the secretary, the financial secretary. So this was one of the most difficult activities I have engaged myself. By God's grace, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose some. In the days in the university, we were able to win and we were able to lose some. In the course of our interactions in the political activities, we were crowned by the school, by the authority as one of the best students on campus when it comes to the issue of politics. I think that award is still with me. Anytime I come to look across that award, I'm always happy. So in all give and take, we have success, we have lose in some parts, we have also win in some parts.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Mr. Ode. Okay, this is my third question for you today. My third question is this. Being a political activist, it simply means that you're interested in human affairs.
Of course.
Okay, what is that thing that really made you interested in human affairs?
Thank you very much, Kenny. To know where to look for and to look for what has been written in a particular field of study is a prerequisite for effective academic activities, both in teaching and in research.
English.
A lot of research has been made, and there is need for us to correct some of the abnormalities that we develop as a nation or as a society. When I was growing up, right from my childhood, I always have interest in leading. I always have interest in making things turn around. Eric Plato said something. He said the only thing that is constant on earth is change. We cannot continue to engage in the way political system used to be. We used to see thuggery, we used to see snatching of ballot boxes in various political units. Then when we were underage, we watch all of this take place in our environment because I'm a grassroots politician. I grew up from the village, all my years was in the village, so I saw a lot of things. So I believe that narrative should not continue like this. That was one of the reasons that pushed me to study political science, to ensure that we have a very good political system, that our incoming children, unborn children, will be able to partake in all of this benevolent of political activities in our state and our country, Nigeria, as the case may be.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Ode. But I must say your English is so fantabulous that I can't even understand some of this English that you are speaking, but I really love that. I really, really do love that. So, as a political activist, how long have you been doing this?
I will say my political activity started from Delta State University. When I first got to Delta State University, by God's grace, I was made an Assistant Secretary General to the then SCG, President Mamigo. After that, I ran for the position of governor. I lost. Like I said before, in politics, you lost some and you win some.
Yes.
In course of it, you get experience from it. After that, again, I was made the Secretary General of my hostel. Unopposed, I was installed there to act as the Secretary General. That was how my political activity started in Nigeria. Then after graduating from the university, then it was done on me that, this is actually a calling for me. I became the Federal Road Safety President in Anambra State, where I ruled. I was heading over for local government. After serving Anambra State for 1 year in National Youth Service, I returned back to my local government. I said before, I'm a grassroots politician.
Yeah.
For you to be a politician, you must bathe yourself in the aqua cross-current in the grassroots, because that's where the vote is. We have a lot of politicians who say they are politicians. They are there in Abuja, they are there in their various states. They don't know the people in their grassroots. They don't know the number of persons they have. So I returned back to my community to have an tete-a-tete discussion with every members of my community. So I became an Assistant Secretary General of my community. So I think that's how my political career started. Then by God's grace, when you are a politician, you have political leaders whom you are looking up to. A tree cannot make a forest. We have political leaders like the person of Senator, distinguished Senator Ege Uzame, who is our leader. He's a very reckoned leader. Maybe you might have heard of him, 2-time Senator in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And by God's grace, my able Vice Chairman then, in person of Comr Osaze Osahuno Holding. He was one time an SSC to the governor. He has acted in various capacities, and we have learned a lot from them. And we are still striving to get to the Eldorado by God's grace.
Thank you so very much for that reply. Thank you so much, Mr. Comrade Ode.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, very soon we'll be going on a short break, but I have a question for you before we go on a short break. And this is it. The government presently are preparing for this election coming up next year, 2023.
Of course.
And so many states, governors, presidents, senators, preparing for the election.
Of course.
So what can you tell me about this election? Is there any positive outcome?
Thank you, Kenny. In politics, they said it is who gets what, when and how. That's what our last was saying. What you don't know is the mathematics behind how these politicians are going to get their votes. They already have their plans, they have their models of operation. And you see, I think a couple of weeks ago, you saw one of the deputy governors from the eastern part of the country in this nation. Campaign have already started. Yeah. But what interests me most is that here politicians begin to engage in series of words. We are full of grammar in Nigeria. You hear them say change. What is change? The only thing that is constant on it is change. Yes. You and I know that this change that we all clamor for to see in the 36 states of the Federation, we have not seen anything, but though they said they are, but for me, I don't believe that this change has actually taken effectively. My grandmother in the village does not know about grammar that I'm speaking now. What my grandmother wants to know that she's able to afford kerosene for 30 naira per liter. She's able to get fuel for 25 naira per liter. She's able to get a bus to get to her destination for 15 naira. We can see the increase in all fares in our country, Nigeria. When we are looking, all fingers are on desk. We are watching. We've had series of change before. We've seen the military government. Now we are in the civilian government. Nothing has actually taken place. I must be very, very realistic with you that we are saying backward. We are still backward when it comes to the issue of politics in Nigeria. 2023 will come and it will also go. It has always been a clamor from leaders. We heard the present president say change. Change from what? What are we changing to and what are we changing to? Is it that youth were gainfully employed? Is it that a lot of employment available? Is it that the military have been transformed? Is it that the Air Force has been transformed? The police has been transformed? The Nigerian Navy has been transformed? The teachers, have they been transformed? These are the critical questions we should ask ourselves. What are the dividends of democracy? If we have benefited from the dividend of democracy, we can easily say, okay, we have hope in this forthcoming election. For me, I think all hope are lost. If you may ask me, all hope are lost because our leaders, they fail us countless times with that number. So we just have to keep our finger crossed. The same thing is like what we run the Bermuda Triangle. Same thing, same political system. The leaders you saw yesterday, they said the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. If at this age of my life, Muhammadu Buhari is the president of Nigeria, where will I have the opportunity to sit on the throne? Look at France, Macron is just 39 years or 40 years of age, and we have a president of 70 years. So look at the people who are behind this forthcoming general election. These are old peoples. These are the people that have to sit back at home and give advice to the young egalitarian youth to take the nation to the highest apex of life. But it's so sardonic that a same political system, same leaders that we have been seeing from years after number, we already are aware, we already see the political, the politics are started playing. We are aware that the vice president is running. We are also aware that the former vice president of Nigeria, Professor Atiku Abubakar, is running. These are people who's more than 60 years of age. Where are they running to? What change do they want to impact that we, the youth, cannot impact here at this present time? So it's so sardonic. Be it as it may, if you ask me, I would say I've lost hope in the political system of Nigeria.
This is so deep. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Ode. But I hope there will be positive changes in 2020.
You know, we keep saying positive change by the grace of God. Jesus Christ of Nazareth, your Savior, my Savior, when he died on the cross of Calvary, he said, "It is finished." That means it has done everything. It is inhumanity to wickedness that is playing in our society. God has done everything. God will not come down from heaven to become a governor. He's not going to come down from heaven to become a president. It is you and I that are supposed to fix things where it ought to be fixed. Fixing the right peg in the right hole.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Ode. I believe it will be fixed. I believe it will be fixed. Come 2023, we want to see change.
Let's
by God's grace, we want to see change. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Ode. We'll be going on a short break right now. We'll be right back.
Alex. Almano la Egu Studio nke nọ la Turkey, Istanbul. Ihe nji wee bịa ụbọchị tata bụ ihe a na-asị asụsụ ndebe anyị bụ olu Igbo. Ihe isiokwu anyị were bụrụ ndị bụ onye Igbo o kwesịrị nwanne gị ebe ọbụla ị nọ gị sụgharịa oyibo ịmakwala nwanne gị ofu asụsụ ka nnọla asụ. Nke abụọ were bụrụ ịmụ ụmụ ebe ibi. Ụmụ gị kwesịrị ka imere ha anya ha aghọta ihe ịkọwara ha ha mara asụsụ nne na nna ha ọ na-adị mkpa. Nke atọ were bụrụ ịfụ nwanne gị mana ihe ị ga-emere nwanne gị mara enyemaka ị ga-emere nwanne gị imere ya nwanne gị ka ụzọ werela aga. So buko ihe anyị ji were bịa ka anyị were anọkọ anyị wa bụ ndị Igbo ebe ọbụla ịfụrụ onye Igbo bụ nwanne gị anyị niile bụ ofu afọ ka anyị si were pụta. Buko na ihe anyị na-emekwa dịkwa iche ile ekupụta nwa gbaa anyị Ligu Studio anyị ga-abịa nọnyere gị. Ile emepe ụlọ gbaa anyị Ligu Studio anyị ga-abịa nọnyere gị. Ile echeta ụbọchị amụrụ gị ịkpọ anyị ga-abịa nọnyere gị. Ịchọ fotografa ịkpọ anyị ga-abịa nọnyere gị. Ihe ọbụla ịchọ kwa ụwa fụ ile eme ihe dị otu a ile azụ ahịa bụrụ ile ebula ahịa chọọ kwa ụwa niile mara na ile azụ ahịa ịkpọ anyị Ligu Studio anyị ga-abịa mee ya ọ bụrụ ihe na-aga ọfụma. La na-esonye anyị na Facebook, la na-esonye anyị na Instagram, la na-esorokwa anyị na YouTube, Ligu Studio. Nke a bụ nke anyị.
Back. I still have here with me Comrade ODESON. Comrade Ode,
Thank you very much.
thank you for the I really appreciate your answers to my questions, and I think I love your vibe.
Thank you.
I love it so much. Okay, Mr. Ode, I have 3 questions for you before we end the talk show today. What has been your experience being a political activist? What experience did you have?
Well, thank you very much. Professor Onuyase Dixon said, learning is a continuous process to depth. We keep learning every day. There are a lot of experience, there are a lot of things we have learned in the course of our involvement in politics. You know, no man is an island of its own. We learn new things in every day of our life. And some of the things I have experienced, or some of my experience in politics, is that not the way we used to hear it back then, that politics is a dirty game. Actually, it is the people that are dirty. Politics is one of the best games ever that you can ever engage yourself in. It's just like mathematics. 1 + 1, they tell you it is 2. Now you have to make out calculations. You have to think out of the box. How am I going to get this 1 plus 1 to become 2? You begin to calculate, you begin to philosophize, you begin to have a strategy map how you are going to get all of these things done. So these have been my experience over time. These are some of the things that I've learned. Though, like I said before, that sometimes you lost some, sometimes you win some. So if I remember the years when I lost as a governor in Delta State University, it was very painful, but be it as it may, I was able to single-handedly also make somebody to become a secretary general. You know, in politics, you have a godfather. So they'll say, this is a leader, this is a leader. So these are some of the experience we've got. We would have been glad if we are given the opportunity to also contribute our quota to the developmental strive of our nation, Nigeria. But that opportunity is not being given. Like I said before, politics has become that of the bourgeoisie. The proletariat has been thrown to the trash can of the dustbin without them involving themselves in politics. So for us, it is in state of sardonicism for us. So there are some of the experience we've got over the time.
State of
Sardonicism.
That's sardonism. I don't understand. What's the meaning of that?
Sadness.
Oh, state of sardonism. Sadness. Mr. Comr, there, I think your English, I know my people will be able to understand your English. Okay, thank you very much for that, Comr. So for those young people out there that want to become leaders of tomorrow, to change, to bring positive changes to the country, to their community, what advice do you have for them?
Well, if you ask me the leaders of tomorrow, we have to first of all ask the president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, if there is hope for the youth. Because if at 80 somebody is still president in Nigeria, I don't know the hope for the commoners to become president. The president passed a bill of not too young to run, but how many of the young people are in House of Assembly, are in Senate, or are even governor? Even the one that we have in governor that is in Kogi State, we saw it messed up Kogi State to the trash can. So, like what I will have to tell the young ones is that they should just believe in what they are doing. They should not look up to government. You know, a scholar said in America, don't think of what America will give to you, but rather think what you are going to give to America. So my advice there is that these young ones should think of what they are going to give back to their society, not what their society are going to give them. So that's my advice for them. They should believe that they have something inside of them to give, not the government to give them.
Okay, Miss Comrade Ode said, think about what you're going to give to your country, to your nation, not what the nation is going to give you. Mr. Ode, this will be my last question for today. If you are not doing anything political, what will be that thing that you think you might be doing apart from political stuff?
Well, you heard when I mentioned from earlier that I'm the CEO of ODESON Consulting Limited. And there's a saying that voice populi, voice the Christian. The voice of the people is the voice of God. The fact that the government has failed us does not mean we should not be able to think out of our memory what to do. Now, peradventure, we ought to have been in the Senate or in the House of Rep where we are dedicating issues concerning the developmental strive of our nation. But that opportunity is not being given to us. It has become the politics of the bourgeoisie. So be it as it may, we are contributing our quota to our nation in the capacity we are able to contribute. Like I said before, I'm the CEO of ODESON Consulting Limited. Outside politics, I also have an event company where we rent chairs, table for event ceremonies. So we decide to say, even if you are not able to be in any political system, but think of what you now offer to your country, what you offer to your society to make our society a better one. Like I said before, though government cannot do all things, but we expect the government at least 90% the basic amenities of life, water, healthcare, good social amenities where you have healthcare, like these things should be available for the citizens. But since the government has failed us woefully, we have to take the bull by the horn to ensure that we on our own contribute our quota to the developmental strive of our country, Nigeria. We believe that by God's grace, we will be achievable if only the youth can come together, egalitarian youth, come together and shield themselves away from these political leaders who have placed us in back order for years and they are not promoting, no promotion of the motion. We are like Idi Amin. So there is need for the youth to come together and think the way forward of how to take Nigeria to the upper so that we have a better nation, a better society for the sake of our own children who are yet to be given birth to.
Thank you so much for that comment, Elder. It's so wonderful and beautiful to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming over to Eagle Studio for this talk show.